Kunja Bihari. Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Yashodanandana Brajajanaranjana. Yashodanandana Brajajanaranjana. Yamuna Tiravana Chari. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Yashodanandana Brajajanaranjana. Yamuna Tiravana Chari. Yamuna Tiravana Chari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Yashodanandana Brajajanaranjana. Yashodanandana Brajajanaranjana. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Rama. Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. Today we are reading from Canto 1, Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter 11, entitled Lord Krishna's entrance into Dwarka. Text number 1. Suta uvacha anartan sa upavrajya sruddhan janapadan swakan dadmodharavaram tesham vishadam shamayannivaha. Suta uvacha anartan sa upavrajya sraddhan janapadan swakan dadmodharavaram tesham vishadam shamayannivaha. Suta uvacha anartan sa upavrajya sruddhan janapadan swakan dadmodharavaram tesham vishadam shamayannivaha. Suta uvacha Sruddhan janapadan swakan dadmodharavaram tesham vishadam shamayannivaha. Suta uvacha anartan sa upavrajya dadmodharavaram tesham vishadam shamayannivaha. Suta uvacha anartan sa upavrajya sruddhan janapadan swakan dadmodharavaram tesham vishadam shamayannivaha. Suta uvacha anartan sa upavrajya sruddhan janapadan swakan dadmodharavaram tesham. Mataji, Suta uvacha anartan sa upavrajya sruddhan janapadan swakan dadmodharavaram tesham vishadam shamayannivaha. Word to word meaning. Suta uvacha, Suta Goswami said, Anartan, the country known as Anartan, Dwarka, Saha, he, Upavrajya, reaching the border of Sruddhan, most prosperous, Janapadan, city, Swakan, his own, Dadmo, sounded, Daravaram, the auspicious conch shell, Panchajanya, Tesham, of them, Vishadam, dejection, Shamayan, pacifying, Eva, seemingly. Translation. Suta Goswami said, upon reaching the border of his most prosperous metropolis, known as the country of Anarthas, Dwarka, the Lord sounded his auspicious conch shell, heralding his arrival, and apparently pacifying the dejection of the inhabitants. Purport. The beloved Lord was away from his own prosperous metropolis of Dwarka for a considerably long period because of the battle of Kurukshetra. And thus all the inhabitants were overcome with melancholia due to the separation. When the Lord descends on the earth, his eternal associates also come with him. Just as the entourage of the king accompanies him, such associates of the Lord are eternally liberated souls. And they cannot bear the separation of the Lord even for a moment because of intense affection for the Lord. Thus the inhabitants of the city of Dwarka were in a mood of dejection and expected the arrival of the Lord at any moment. So the heralding sound of the auspicious conch shell was very encouraging, and apparently the sound pacified their dejection. They were still more aspirant to see the Lord amongst themselves, and all of them became alert to receive him in the befitting manner. These are the signs of spontaneous love of Godhead. Om Ajnanati Mirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guroho Shri Yutaha Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pradamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. First of all, I seek blessings from all the assembled devotees so that I can speak for the glorification of the Lord, for my purification and for your pleasure. So we are in the first canto, 11th chapter. These are the two chapters which we see that Krishna is leaving Hastinapur in 10th chapter, and in 11th chapter he is entering into Dwarka. These are the two specific chapters which gives us a glimpse of one activity of Lord in Golok, in Dwarka, in spiritual world. That what happens when he leaves from one place to another place. For that, one chapter is there. So, just like Prabhupada writes in the purport that whenever Krishna descends, then he descends with all his eternally liberated souls. So, for those who are mostly in the Sattvic Guna, they can get attracted to this kind of activities and then can get inspiration to go to that particular place. That is the only agenda of Krishna when he comes into this material world. To inspire the spiritually aspirant people, to give them the right path. So this first verse shows the eagerness of the Dwarkavasis to see Krishna after a long time, because the battle of Kurukshetra happened before that. So many months Krishna is already in Hastinapur. So there is a deep separation all the Dwarkavasis are experiencing. So separation is can be defined as it's an experience which a person feels when the object of their love for them, they have a deep affection and they are fully dependent on him. He's absent for so long. So proportion to which people have affection and they are dependent on that person, they will feel separation. We see in this material world, there are various stages where the souls are connected to Krishna. Like various stages. Here in the particular verse we see the separation mainly in the chapters chapter explains. A small resemblance can be seen in the husband and wife. Like we are here, there is a description of a border. So we know that border means a territory where after that the enemy's territory starts. That's why it is called border, where the soldiers are kept. So we know even in this world, take any country, when a soldier is away from home for so many years, then wife is so much in separation. And separation, what it does, separation reminds us of a husband, his activities, how he walks, how he talks, how he eats, how he responds to so many things. And that gives that person, wife, happiness. And even a mere letter comes, suppose, after so many years, she becomes so excited that she gets reminded of all his activities. And the tears flow from her eyes. And then anticipation grows that now letter has come means he's supposed to come. Now he's coming behind now. Just like Lord has blown his conch shell, and then everybody is anticipating now that Lord is coming. So this is a sort of a separation which we can feel even in the mundane world with the other living entities to whom we are very affectionate and we will feel dependent on them. So in old days, the woman used to be so much dependent on their husband. It's like a creeper. Creeper always takes shelter of a tree. We have never seen a tree taking shelter of another tree. It's very unusual. But mostly what happens, creeper knows that I need shelter to grow and to bear fruits. So creeper always takes shelter of a tree. So wife, even if we see in old days, in 60s, 70s, 80s or 90s, the husband's time to come home is fixed. And even half an hour or hour late, then the wife becomes anxious. What happened? Where is he? Well, there were no phones that you can tell, oh, I am coming late, so and so forth reason. So that was there. But now we see the culture has changed so much that for sustenance, husband and wife both have to work. So affection is there, but the dependency has reduced. Both have become trees. So I don't need so much shelter as such. We have affection as an husband and wife, but the dependence has reduced. as an existence. Before, wife couldn't exist without husband. That's why we had sati and all, you know. That much separation was there, the pain of fire was okay for women, but to live without husband, impossible. During the first COVID, when the first COVID wave was over and then the lockdown was removed, we were in a secluded place because we were also patients. So after recovering, we were at one place and we happened to see one lady who, happened to say we give so many programs here and there. And she also had attended some program. And then I was with one devotee and she came with it's a resort. So she came, oh, Hare Krishna, how are you? And then happened, COVID or no COVID, this discussion happened. And then casually we asked, where is your husband? They said, before this question ends, she said, I wanted to break from him. That's why I came here for 10 days. So this was shocking for me for a moment. But then we see that the lifestyle of a person, the husband and wife nowadays is that every morning they leave for their job, they work, and they come in the evening, have dinner, and then sleep. Only Sunday and festival days they have, whole day they stay together. But the COVID made them stay together for so long, 24 hours a day, they can't go out of the flat. And then what happens? Ati parichayat avagya, in the sense they start seeing faults and they, so this happens. And now, as we have already mentioned that the creeper has become a tree now. so everybody needs privacy. So this is the Kali Yuga progress, where now we see one single parent and so on and so forth. But in spirituality, there is a complete difference. However powerful you may become, however old you become, the affection for Krishna always increases. We see that, and the separation also felt is tremendous. When Vidura was traveling as a sannyasi, and he happened to see Uddhava, so naturally he asked him, because he didn't know that what has happened, the battle happened and so many people died. So he asked about welfare of everybody, and then he asked, how is Krishna? So just by hearing this, Uddhava goes into trance for considerable time. Because he directly goes now to remember how Krishna used to talk to him. And so that is how he felt separation. So our separation right now might be with our colleagues, our mother, father, our wives, children, so on and so forth. But as the time goes, when he says 51, then we should plan to have a practice of increasing our affection and dependence on Lord, so that at the end of life we may remember Krishna. So that is there. So in Kali Yuga we have to be very alert. Now we'll try to analyze how this the relationship of jivas with Krishna is in different grades. Everybody feels separation, but in different way. First category is like Asura category. They are like people who want salary without work and without boss. Asuras like Shishupal, Hiranyakashipu. They know that everything is supplied by Krishna, by Lord, but they can't digest his presence itself. Like Shishupal, like Radha Govind Maharaj says that generally the child, when he is born, he learns first Mama, Papa, such word. But Shishupal was so envious from so many births that his first word he said was Gali to Krishna, Sala Krishna, like that. And he continued till his death, always blaspheming Krishna. So such kind of mentality is Asura category, who want to enjoy entire material world, all facilities, but do not want to praise the giver who is giving us. Simply thanks. Actually, instead of that, they want to take his position. Like we see all asuras do that. And Hiranyakashipu was one like that. So these are the people, they are always thinking like a mundane person. We see any office, the most popular gossip is about boss. How different way you can abuse him. I mean, in the sense that now in mundane world there might be some bosses who are like people who harass their juniors, but this is how the thing is. If he wouldn't be there, our life would be very peaceful. Maza aata tha, ye boss nahi hota tha. Like this, Shishupal says that every time when I go and try to enjoy, he is there to spoil everything. So they also feel separation in the sense they are always thinking of Krishna, but negatively. So that is negative separation. Second category is the people who want to enjoy. When they get frustrated, they surrender. They approve the supremacy of Krishna. Like one time, one of my friend who was married, who had a daughter, and somehow he felt, while watching so many billboards, says, let us have a gym. I should increase my physical strength. And he joined the gym, and within few months, he actually had a feeling that, power aa gaya, bicep vakara. And then one day, he was narrating to me that when he was coming back from the gym, he saw that there was a commotion, there was a small accident, and one man was slapping a college boy. And fight was going on. He said, oh, this is the time now I have to show injustice. I cannot tolerate injustice. So he entered in and tried to grab the man who was slapping the boy. And he said, with the grips of two hands, I could not grip his one bicep. So his mood was, hey, kya kar raha hai? And when he saw that it is not like that, suddenly his tone changed. Arey, bhai sahab, kya kar rahe aap? Kyun maar rahe bichare ko? And then his anger went to that boy. Hey, tumko samajhta nahi kya? Chal bhag. Like that. So this is what a second category of person who they have their own plan, their own private life, they want to enjoy, but when suddenly the calamity comes, first person they remember is Krishna. Bacha lo. Now, there might be few very fortunate soul, for them, Krishna out of mercy creates situation where they take complete shelter of Krishna. One is Arjuna. We see that in Krishna Leela, one Brahmana was there in Dwarka, whose destiny was that his one after another his son was getting birth and immediately he would die. So he would every time bring his dead son into the assembly and would chastise, abuse the king, Ugrasena. Different way, that what type of king you are. He said king means he should take responsibility of protection of Brahmanas, but you are Brahma Dvishaha. You are envious of Brahmanas. You are using all your intelligence to how to collect taxes only. You are Lubdha, greedy, and Vishayatmana. Your only planning is how to enjoy the sense, how to enjoy. And the main task of Kshatriya to protect the citizen, you are not doing that. So every time this was happening, the 9th time when his son died, and he came to the assembly, Arjuna was there. And he saw that nobody is saying anything. So Arjuna said, he stood up and he said, what happened? Is there no Kshatriya here who can protect this Brahmana? So he said, don't worry, I will protect your son. You make arrangement. So Brahmana looked at him and he said, "Who are you?" And here it is Krishna, Janardana, Sankarshan, Balaramji is here, all powerful Aniruddha is here. If they cannot protect my son, who are you? So Arjuna says, "You don't know me. Don't underestimate me. I am Arjuna who has Gandiva. With this, I have pleased Lord Shiva. So don't doubt my chivalry. If to save your son, I have to fight with the death person I fight, then I will do that. Go." So our Brahmana listened to him, and then he had that courage to have another son. So such kind of, there might be so many ways Krishna, a living soul can attract Krishna's mercy. So here we see that pride, and Krishna cannot tolerate the pride. So later this event happens, but when Krishna leaves the world, and then Arjuna wanted to protect his wives, so he goes and to rescue them from Dwarka, and he gets defeated by the cowherd boys only. At that moment he understands that Vanchitoham Maharaja Harina Bandhurupina Yename Apahrita Tejo Deva Vismapanam Mahat. Now I understood that the entire battle of Kurukshetra, all the battle, even the defeating Lord Shiva, all happened because Krishna was with me. He said, "Tadvai dhanus tat ishava tat ratho hayaste." I have same Gandiva, which I was proud of, same arrows, I have same rath. Soham rati nipratayo tad amaranti. With this Gandiva, I fought with all the kings, and they used to come to offer me respects. But what happened now? Sarvam kshanena tat abhut asad isha riktam. Now isha riktam, Krishna has gone. And within a moment, all this has become null and void now. Gandiva, my power, defeating Lord Shiva, going to Swarga and getting the astras. No use. It is like that, he gives three analogies, that with all this paraphernalia, fighting is like an offering butter to ashes, or creating money by magic band, or sowing the seed on a barren land. It will never be fruitful. So at that moment he remembered, he goes into separation, and he remembers all Gita, and then he surrenders, basically. So these are the few souls who are the mercy cases, basically. And second is Pingla. Pingla is a prostitute who had a nice arrangement every day that, okay, to have earned money. And one day she becomes so frustrated because nobody comes. An entire night goes, and suddenly Paramatma offers her mercy. And what happens? She feels detachment. So much so that she curses her profession. And she says that, "Oh, I have wasted my life. Santam samipe ramadam rati pradam vitta pradam nityam imam vihaya." I have neglected a person who is the most closest to me. He resides in my heart, and he is a person who is a bestower of happiness to everybody. Vitta pradam, he is the source of all prosperity. And I was serving the insignificant men who could not even satisfy my desire. In fact, they were the causes of my all distress, unhappiness, the moha, illusion. I was foolishly serving them. And now then she says that, actually, Nunam me Bhagavan Prito ho, Vishnu kenapi karmana. I don't know what kind of activities I might have done. In this profession, I can't do any worship. But somehow Vishnu, Nunam me Bhagavan Prito, he was satisfied with my some activity. Nirvedoyam durashaya. I was stubbornly planning to enjoy this material world. But suddenly he gave me detachment. And yanme jata sukhava. Now I am feeling so much happiness in his presence. So Krishna is not there. She is feeling separation because now she has understood her situation, her position, how she is so much dependent on Krishna, like a creeper. Creeper cannot even grow, what to speak of flower and fruits, unless creeper gets shelter. So that separate fire of separation actually burns away all our separate plans to enjoy the world. And then it actually increases our remembrance of the Lord. So these two are the mercy cases, basically. Third category is people who we saw artho artharthi jigyasu. So people who want quick result and exponential results. Like the very famous pastime of Krishna is Sudama pastime. Poha diya, sona liya. So it attracts so many people, like chappar phad ke returns. So he's very famous like that. It's there. Just like we see that whenever a college going, the student, if he wants his pocket money should be increased, then what he does? He serves his father. Papa, pani chahiye kya? So he said, what happened there? Kal tak to tu mere ko remote se siwa kuch mangta nahi tha. And now suddenly you have started serving me. So the agenda is, you increase my pocket money. And as soon as that happens, he forgets. So artho artharthi, these are the people who approach Krishna, and when misery goes, they say Hare Krishna. And till the time when the another artha comes, another distress comes, or another thing, mostly this happens when the hostel boys, they remember their parents intensely in the month end. Kab aayega money order? Keep calling, phone calling. दूसरे से उधार लेके phone का भेजो जल्दी, कुछ नहीं है. And as soon as money order comes, no phone calls till month end. Sab pyar. So these are the third category of souls who have relation with Krishna as a father, as a provider of needs. They have affection, dependence, but they have separate lifestyle, separate plans. So it's a time-bound separation and having a separate agenda. One devotee who expressed with me that before joining, he had actually first attended Ratha Yatra in Mira Road from Pune. From Pune he traveled, attended Ratha Yatra and went back. So like 8 hours he in traveling and Ratha Yatra and go. And he said when now he joined, even Ratha Yatra is half hour or 1 hour away, he said, "Arey kaun jayega abhi? वो रात में लेट हो जाएगा." So he said, what happened? Previously I was so enthusiastic in doing bhakti, attending Ratha Yatra, so and abhi bahut. So he asked one senior, and he says, because of offenses. We do offenses, and then our eagerness goes down to practice with determination. So we see that there are many devotees I see, they regularly take darshan of Krishna in all artis. Whatever happens, whatever their seva is there, they make sure they come and take darshan. This is how we acknowledge his supremacy. Like, I personally see many times I feel, "Arey subah liya na darshan abhi." I mean, this is how I personally admit. Many times we say, "Arey ek baar liya, long time liya," like this. And we see the fourth category, the gopis, they are the people who are having such a separation that they say that even one blink of an eye separation we can't tolerate. Atati yad bhavan ahani karanam truti yugayate tvam apashyatam. They say that when you go in the morning to forest, Vrindavan, we can't get your darshan. And at that moment, a truti yuga ite. A truti means one fraction we feel as if a yuga has passed. Tvam apashyatam, we can't see you. Jada udikshatam, sorry. The atati yad bhavan tvam ahani karanam truti yugayate tvam apashyatam. Kutila kuntalam Shri Mukham Chate, Jada Udikshatam, Pakshmakrit Drusham. So they call Jadakrut. Whom? To Brahmaji. Why he has created this body in such a way that eye has to blink. Pakshma Drisham. Now, when in the evening Krishna comes with his curly hairs and his face is covered with that, he looks so beautiful and we want to see him without blinking, but this eye blinks. That's why he's a foolish creator. So when first time I heard this, I said, this is, amazing. We see offense is so powerful. And in the higher realm also, this gopis are saying that. But then one incident happened when, long back, when I was working, I happened to see one man whose family was for few months our neighbors, and then she shifted to Pune. And then I was there, and then I could recognize him, and he recognized me, and then he invited me, oh, you should come to my home, now only. Everybody will be happy. Because in those days, we were very intimate neighbors. So I said, okay, fine. So he took me to his home. This man is a retired person, and he was saying, I'm so happy to see you. Let me introduce. So he had one son, then daughter-in-law, and overly pampered his granddaughter by the parents, the only daughter, that's why. So as soon as we entered their home, I heard loud music. In those days, V channel, most of you must be knowing. So many songs, disco or so many. So as he entered, he shouted, "Arey band karo ye sab, a guest aaya hai, awaaz kam karo," because he was the head of the home. And then we met. Suddenly, the door opened, and I saw a lady. I thought I am seeing Steffi Graf. The dress was like that. So he shouted again, guest, you should have a decent clothes. So she stormed inside. And then he started talking to me. What happened to this age? Nowadays they think that they are film stars. By exposing their bodies, they will become famous. They will become beautiful. So I said, okay. He was giving guidance. And then she came, frowning. And they, with other dress, and sat. So we had a talk. And I said, now you're happy? In this tone, she said to grandfather, now you're happy? He says, what happy? You don't have any shame? Somebody has come, you are sitting sleeveless, with sleeveless t-shirt. So again she became very angry. She said, "Aap 1960 ke ho. Come up. Now the world has changed." So she said, if I wear the dress which you propose, everybody will laugh at me in the college. So they started fighting in front of us. The parent was there and I was there. The fight is going on. And the voice is going louder and louder. So she said that you are a 1960 man and this is 2003 going on. So there is a generation gap. You don't try to force me. So lastly he said that, the world may change. The grandfather is saying, world may change. That doesn't mean you have to change. You be an example. Wear sari and let the whole college change their culture. So she became very angry and she said, "Aap satya gaye ho." This is now anger increased and this is like, It's what she says, you are full to satya gaye aap. Aisa bol ke, she left. And the grandfather also left. And then I asked the mother, how can you do this? I mean, you control her. This is not the way you should speak with grandfather. So they both are relaxed. They said, don't worry. If you stay with us, you will also laugh. I said, what is this? She said, actually, they have their relation like that. They have intimate affection about each other. She may fight with him, but she makes sure that he takes medicine at time. Whenever she goes out, she touches his feet and asks permission. And he gives every day the same instruction. Stay with girls, not with boys. Because he's 1960 still. And she says yes. And goes. And he makes sure that however late she comes, we wait. He makes us wait. Saath mein khayenge, saath mein. So that is the intimate affection. And that's why what happened? There is a concern. And concern means the fault finding. I mean, the sense, don't do that, don't do this, because of betterment. Then I understood the science of this relationship, that now Lord Brahma is like a grandfather only. And the gopis calling him Jadakrita, a foolish creator, he didn't take it very seriously. He said, it's true actually that I have better eyes than you. But when I saw Krishna, I saw he's a coward boy. How can he be my Lord? But you with this eye, I mean, you are so intimately attached to him that you so dare that you chastise me and don't even think of offense. So he said, hats off to you. I will become a hill. And so that such kind of people can give me dust of their lotus feet. So this is what the higher stage of living entities, in the sense, now gopis are eternally liberated souls, but there might be some soul who are in that category in this world, who are so intimately connected to Krishna. The more than that is the episode when once Radha and Krishna were together alone, and one bumblebee came and she was disturbing them, hovering here and there. So Krishna said, Madhumangal, usko bhaga do, shoo her away. So Madhumangal started chasing that bee. And after a long time he came back running and he said, Krishna, Madhu has gone forever. He will never disturb you now. So by hearing this, Radharani started crying. Now Krishna said, what's the matter now? The bumblebee has gone. Bumblebee has gone. So Radharani is thinking that, so Krishna's one name is Madhu. So Madhu Mangal is saying, Madhu has gone forever. So Radharani is in the arms of Krishna, but she is feeling separation, even in the association. In future, if this happens, how can I live? And the tears flow from her eyes, and that becomes Prema Sarovar. So this is the highest kind of separation which we see. From a very mundane level, selfish agenda to selfless agenda. How can I even live without Krishna's presence? So once someone asked me, I'm chanting so many rounds. I mean, it's a very close friend of mine. When will we go to Golok Vrindavan? बहुत हो गया अभी, मुक्ति चाहिए. इतना इसलिए तो इतना बहुत कर रहे, I mean, chant so intently, work for Krishna, give donation. When I can go to Golok? So I was saying, who am I to tell you how can we go to Golok Vrindavan? The gradation is, first thing we should have I told him in a very frank way that if I attend all 6 artis, I attend all the festivals of Krishna where he is glorified, then at least one day I may feel affection for Krishna. And then that with that affection, if sometimes if I may not attend that, then I will feel separation. And then fire of separation may burn my own plans, which I had so many. So, Janma karma cha me divyam evam yo vetti tattvataha, knowing that Krishna's birth and activities are transcendental, He is our Lord. This is the first step. But it should lead us to Satatam Kirtayanto Mam. Always chanting His glories. Yatantascha Drudavrata. Always endeavoring with determination. Nitya Yukta Upasate. Always being engaged in His service. And that's, if you are not doing, then we will feel separation. And then one day we'll understand that actually there is no difference between material and spiritual world. Because here itself you will feel Krishna. I mean, you are in Krishna consciousness. And then Krishna may feel separation from you, and then you can go back to Krishna. It's not in our hands. So that's why these two chapters actually invites us, the conditioned souls, to focus and to analyze our lives, that how we are basically, I'm talking about myself, that how the human birth is so rare and how very critical. And now this Kali Yuga is, where everything is taking us away from Krishna, and how we are far away from the affection and dependence we feel. That, okay, Krishna is there. Actually, without Krishna, I can't live. Because mostly we are like Arjuna. That I have taken the responsibility for Krishna. But Mam Anuspara Yuddhacha is not there. I mean, not there. Separation is there. Not there. First we try on ourselves to solve all problems. And then when nothing happens, then we go to Krishna. So, Tasmat Bharata Sarvatma Bhagwan Ishvaro Hari Shrotavya Kirtitavyascha Smartavya Bhagwan Nrinam. So, if we do, under the guidance of Guru and Vaishnavas, always Smartavya, Shrotavya Kirtitavyascha Smartavya. These three things, then it is possible to we'll have a deep affection for Krishna and a strong dependency on Krishna. And then, of course, then there will be like no difference, like there will be no problem in this material, as such, I feel. This is my 1 paisa knowledge. Thank you. Srila Prabhupada ki, Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Nitai Gaur Premanande. Hare Hare Bol.